Hey guys, and welcome back to Kinda Crafty Mom. I know some other people were still asking about the alcohol inks and how to get them to look like they do when I make them. So I figured I'd make another tutorial. I'll list everything below. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, but I'm going to show you two ways. So you'll need your alcohol inks. I'm using a little bit of glitter today. One of them I'm going to use mica on. One just alcohol inks, and then I'll show you how to put it all together. So these are my rounds, and they have a protective cover on them, so you want to make sure that I peel it off. I just take the tip of it with my weeding tool here and just peel it off. Okay, and start like that. The first one I'm gonna do is an Adventure Begins kind of one, and I'm actually gonna pull a couple of these off because I find if I stop and go to the next one and then go to the next one, if I have some ideas, that the one color I do can start to dry and they don't go as crazy blending together as they sometimes do. One thing I will say is make sure that you're prepared for the colors that are gonna mix. Like if you have a red and a yellow, you're probably gonna get some orange, or you have a pink and a blue, you're probably gonna get some purple in there if it comes together. So you should be mindful of your colors if you're using more than one. Definitely your whites. I put a drop of white on every color. That makes it less dark. If you're looking for a dark effect, you don't have to put the white on there, but it's pretty see-through if you don't. So I'm just going to use blue, green, and I'm going to use some gold too, I think. The metallics I find are pretty thick, and they sink. So sometimes I'll use a paintbrush to mix those up. So all I'm going to do first is put a couple of drops of the color I want to use. Definitely gloves. This is very messy. Even when I try really hard, I have mess everywhere. I'm also using silicone mats because that really, they're easy to clean up. So I'm just doing a drop on top of these greens. I'm going to let them chill for a bit. I don't like, that wasn't enough on this one. It was too much of a drop there. So I'm going to do that, let that sit for a minute, and then I'm going to go to the next one. The next one I'm doing is a Wild and Free one. So I think I'm going to do some pink and gold with that. I am going to get the gold on this because it's thick, so I like to put it on when I'm using another color. So I will do that and get everything ready here. So I'll drop a few of my pinks on here. I'm not going to use another solid color on this, like another vibrant color. I'm just going to do the pink and the gold. This white is really giving me a fit right now. Sometimes it gets stuck in there and it's really a pain about that. Anyways, see how that's going together. While that's doing that, I'm gonna drop my golds in here where the colors are mixing together right now, so that they'll blend a little bit. Otherwise they tend to just kind of stay stagnant. And because I'm not doing any other color and I don't care if it mixes, I'm gonna go back now and do some more of the more pink. I'm just dropping this on here. The biggest thing with the alcohol inks is wait for them to dry. They need to dry. See how it's kind of pooling, and that's fine too. But you really want to make sure that they dry. This is really aggravating me. So I have little cheapo weeding tool that I use to, sometimes this white gets clogged up. So anywhere it looks really dark, maybe where it doesn't look dark, because sometimes maybe you want to leave a little bit of it dark, or put some white where there isn't anything else going on. So I like the way that looks. I'm not any more color. I will come through and probably bring a little bit of this up where it's see-through and just do that a little bit. Swirl that around a little bit just to get coverage there. Well, getting a little bit heavy down there. And I might just, looks pretty good. So, this one has a lot of ink on it, so it's probably going to take a while to dry, which is fine. That's why I do like a bunch of them in a row if I'm doing that. So go back to my green. This actually is, it's still obviously tacky, but you can see it's already starting to dry up. So then I'll go back through with my blue. Now, hopefully you guys can see this. I'm trying to hold it in a spot that is easy for everybody to see. And then go back with my whites. Sorry, I've got like kids in the background and dog in the background. And so, and then I might just go ahead and do another green while the blue's in here. And I don't care if these colors mix together. Just looking for some earthy tones here. Just dab a little bit in there. If they mix together, not the end of the world. But I like the way that looks. And then I'll wipe this off over here. And touch these up. Do the same thing here, just getting the colors. Got a piece of plastic or something there. I'll do that. I don't know if I'm gonna want any more white on that or not. Maybe I will. And I just kind of just go with the flow, like whatever I'm feeling. I do a little bit of white. I was gonna do gold on this, but I don't think I'm gonna. I'm just gonna do gold on that one. So those are those two. I'm gonna let them dry, and while they're drying, I'm gonna start a new one. We'll see how this goes. I want this to be kind of dark. So I'm doing purple. I'm gonna do that first. Again, just gonna put some drops on here. And do the white. Just let that kind of do its thing. I might use some pearl. It kind of like disperses everything and makes it a little bit shimmery. Sometimes I'm happy I used it, sometimes I'm not. We'll just see. But it gives a little shimmer there. And I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. And then I'm gonna use some black. In the meantime, I've already gone on to Design Space and created, you might not be able to see this, but it says Adventure is out there, has little mountains on it. I'm gonna use that on this color. And then I'm gonna use Wild and Free on the pink and gold. And then this one is for a friend. She has a horse named Stormy Drew, and she kind of wants it a little bit dark and twisty. So while the purple's drying, I'm going to take some black glitter and maybe just sprinkle a little bit in there. Now, this is obviously isn't going to dry. So sometimes with the resin, it'll move around. So if you are worried about where your placement is, I don't recommend using the glitter if you care if it's going to go somewhere, because it's probably going to move from the glitter. I mean, when you apply the resin, the glitter may go somewhere if you don't put it in the resin, but I don't want a solid resin look on this, which is why I'm not doing that. So that's on there. The purple's starting to dry up, you can see. So then I'm gonna add my black. I'll put these drops here. I'm kind of going for like a midnight kind of starry vibe, I guess, is what I'm after here. I don't really know. And half the time I have an idea, but that doesn't mean it's gonna end up the way that I envisioned it, which is another thing. Sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get. Like this white up here is just chilling. I want it to be mixed in, but we'll see. Maybe some more white on this black. And I don't know why my white keeps getting clogged. It's really annoying, guys. But it is. I just got a new big giant bottle of white because I use so much of it in this. So I think that looks good. We'll leave that. And I'm probably going to do the same thing for this camera. My friend wants this too. She's a photographer. So I'm going to probably do the same thing with this that I did for this. She likes it dark and twisty, but she loves purple and sparkle. So I'll probably do that as well. But I'm going to let these dry and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and they have pretty much dried. I'd normally like to leave them a little bit longer, but I want to get this video out for you guys. It's pretty much dry. You can dab it if you want. I just left it. But I'm going to use, this is the UV resin I use, is hard type Lamino. I don't know how you say it, but I'm just going to put this directly onto the back of my keychain. Somebody recommended this after one of my videos, and it was a great idea. You don't waste anything in the cups. I will use a cup if I'm doing glitter or mica, but not if I'm doing like putting clear directly on. So then I'm just gonna make sure, you wanna make sure you get all the edges here. Otherwise it can chip off. The biggest thing here is making sure that everything looks nice and coated. And I just use this and I get around the hole there. Works pretty good. Just check and make sure I don't have any missed spots here. Looks pretty good. Right, and then I just use this little barbecue lighter thing and get out my bubbles. Sometimes they'll sneak up on me or they'll be a little tricky to get off there, but for the most part there, this works really, really good. Don't want to do it too much. Like here, I just see a little spot where I didn't get all the way to the edge here. That looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my under my UV lamp. I will link the lamp. It's over on my other table, but I will link the lamp that I use, and I'll just do it for 120 seconds, especially since the ink isn't really dry. I just use butcher paper to put on these to move them. You can use whatever. You can use parchment paper. Honestly, probably regular paper would work just fine. And then what I'll do is, usually if I'm gonna make keychains, I'll have a bunch of them ready to do, just because it's always like such a hassle to get everything out, and it just makes it easier to just do a bunch at once. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. And then I'll just continue to do these until I'm done with all the ones that I wanna do. Again, if this is dry, which this is pretty dry, but not completely dry, you may see your ink run a little bit and it won't cure as nicely. if the resin has coloring in it, instead of just being this clear top coat, especially with the darker resins like the purples and like this darker pink here. So I really try to make sure that it's really dry before I do it. Like I said, they're a little damp. My first video, I did do it a little bit damp, and I'm just using a popsicle stick to move those around. So I'm gonna do this process until they're all done. I made another one while I was waiting. It still needs to dry, but I did some copper and blue just because I had it out and wanted to make another keychain. So I will be back once these are all cured on the back. Okay, we're back, and I have pulled all of these off. I really like the way they came out. This one, I wish I would have done the gold like I wanted to, but this is the copper and blue I did, and then the pink and gold, and then the stormy night one. I'm gonna do the adventure is out there on here, and I pick out a little pieces first, and then I reverse weed because I just feel like it's easier. For some reason, and I don't know, my sister is one of those, she can weed regularly with no issue. I cannot. I can't do it. So I reverse weed and then pull everything up and pray it comes up like it's supposed to. So we'll see. Especially the little letters, it's like, ooh, will it stay? Will it not? This little, the struggle is real, guys. Like, everything's coming off awesome except for these little teeny letters down here, and it's always an issue. These little baby letters always just want to give you the worst time. There we go. OH, come on. You can do it. Anybody else talk to their, look, it broke right off. Anybody else talk to their vinyl, or just me? Thought if I supported it, it would come off, but it didn't. There's still a little bit in each there. I might try to find a piece that will work that I can put there, but maybe not. And if not, it's not the end of the world. I think you can still see that it's an H, but see if I can find the rest of it on here. It's just, when you're doing on, the keychains are so small, it is very hard. So yeah, I'm not gonna get it. I'm leaving it. I'm gonna use this one here because I just think it is cute, and I'm just gonna try to line this up, slap this on. Make sure that you do this really well so then nothing comes up. And then slowly with your vinyl, make sure that nothing's gonna come up. You never know. And then I don't know what happened here. I'm legit on a struggle bus. Just fixing an E over here, but I can't move my camera right now. And this happens. I mean, there's stuff happens. So anyways, this is just regular vinyl. This is permanent, so you don't have to seal it, but I do because I like the way it looks once it's done. So I'm gonna do the resin on top of here. And I'll do that for 120 seconds as well. And again, just make sure on the front as well that you're getting it around every part here so that it looks really nice, sharp. And I think it really brings out the background too. Like, I think it's really makes the background stand out as opposed to just leaving it. But that's just me. And then again, I'll go through any bubbles and get all those bad boys out. Looks pretty good. And I'll go ahead and put that in and I'll be back. And we're back. While I was waiting, I went ahead and put the Wild and Free on. I haven't done the front yet. But here's your Adventure Awaits, and I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty smooth and nice. I'm gonna do the leather tutorial after this for the fobs, but this is how you do this. I'm gonna do this one and I'll come back on real quick just to show you that finished product, and then we'll move on to the leather fobs and beads. Okay, and then here's the Wild and Free after I did that one. So I will be back in another video tutorial to show you how to do the leather key fobs. Thanks.